Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching My Media Prime Television. This is the 6:30 p.m. edition of News Live from our headquarters in Douala, Cameroon's economic capital. My name is Fon Quinter. I begin today's newscast in the West region, where financial and material damage caused by a fire outbreak at Marché B, a market in Bafoussam, Tuesday, October 26th, are reportedly huge. Following the incident, the mayor of Bafoussam Fon Quinter was promised a reconstruction of all 12 sheds consumed by the inferno. Eileen Summer has details in the following report.
The cause of the fire, which broke out Tuesday morning, the 26th day of October 2021, is still unknown, but consumed a great portion of Marché Bay in the West Regional Headquarters, Bafoussam, leaving huge material and financial damage. The timely intervention of the firefighting brigade was not enough to reverse the damage, as the affected part of the market was razed to ashes. However, the firefighters battled to stop the flames from spreading further. Fortunately, no human lives were lost, and the mayor of the Bafoussam 1 municipality, Tenure Levis Dieudonné, has announced that 12 of the sheds consumed by the inferno will be reconstructed in the days ahead. He made the revelation during his visit to the incident scene on Tuesday. While investigations have been opened to establish the cause of the fire outbreak, calls have been made for precautionary measures to be taken to prevent such occurrences, which has been recurrent in a majority of markets and business places in Cameroon.
Now, inhabitants of Buea neighborhood in Douala 2 subdivision took to the streets this 27th day of October 2021, decrying forced eviction from houses they've occupied for several years. The Ewane Mr. Mokoro has connived with local and administrative authorities to get them evicted. Get details in the following report. The population of Buea neighborhood in Douala 2 subdivision, littoral region of Cameroon, protesting against forceful eviction.
Mr. President of the Republic of Cameroon, as you see this population that is here, everybody is here because we are hoping on you. We are pleading as a family, as your children, crying to the Father, come and help us. There is a group of people who have gathered themselves, and they have come here to say that what they say is owned by them, that they have already land titles of this area where you see this population. As you see, they are living here like this, they are stranded. So as it shows now, we have decided to block ourselves to come out with a message to let you know maybe you are not aware that we are crying. So we are calling with you. Use us as your children and help us as our father.
With placards in hands and chanting, they are calling on President Paul Biya to come to their aid. According to inhabitants of Buea who are at the verge of losing their homes, some of them are internally displaced persons, while others have invested huge amounts of money in business, and leaving it will be a great loss.
From Bamenda, from North, from Bafoussam, Ewane, and the entire environment of your country to come and assemble here because you require. You said that we should come here in the year around that 2012, that we should come and develop this environment because this is where we can situate ourselves. So we have finally come here and develop the environment, and some people see the environment now they have come and started saying that they want to send us out and title the place.
Some residents who took to the streets this 27th day of October 2021 for that revealed that one Mr. Mokoro, who claims to be the rightful owner of the land, has connived with some local and administrative authorities to get them evicted from the land they have occupied for several years.
Is called Mukuru, and we know that one of the names of the children of the Republic is not called Mukuru. So we want to let the president should know that one person is coming to remove his children from Mukuru. I wonder they should call him in order, because there is, as you see this document there, it shows that all the land titles they were showing to us, they are all fake, and they have already cancelled all of them.
They decided to send distress calls to administrative authorities after their houses were marked for demolition earlier this week.
There was a group of people entering to come and start remarking the houses of people that numbered them. So the county was, the partner was not aware. So it is because of that you see us. We have come now to let you to know that we need your help.
At the time of the protest, law enforcement officers were present to prevent the protesters from using violent methods. In the Northwest region, land tenure and public contract sectors have come under scrutiny this 27th day of October 2021 in Bamenda, chief town of the region. Improving procedures, policies and quality of goods and services in these two sectors were the focus of a one-day workshop organized by the Northwest Association of Development Organizations. Lasha Kingsley tells us more.
The ongoing crisis in the northwest region of Cameroon, there are growing fears that non-execution of contracts, poorly executed works and abandonment of works could increase because unscrupulous individuals could take advantage of the situation and report on non-executed projects or even validate poor works. Similarly, in the land tenure sector, a study carried out by Transparency International, Land and Corruption in Africa, TIC 2016, reveals that 17.6% of Cameroonians interviewed confirmed to have paid bribes from land administrators, and 99% of persons interviewed paid bribes in the process of obtaining land certificates. It is within this backdrop that land tenure and the public contract sectors came under scrutiny in Bamenda this Wednesday, October 27, 2021. Improving procedures, processes, policies and quality of goods and services in these two sectors in the Northwest region in general and Mezan Division in particular was the focus of a one-day workshop organized by the Northwest Association of Development Organizations.
Very important day for us. We are organizing this meeting within the framework of the project Amplifying Civil Society Voice for Quality Service Delivery in the Public Sector. One of the things we have achieved is to bring together CSOs and public sector authorities working together on common development issues affecting us. And it's a cry that has come a long way. We've been looking forward to it for a very long time. And at this time, everyone is on board and we are moving on.
It was also an opportunity to communicate to legislators and public sector stakeholders the civil society policy proposal on the land tenure sector in a bid to add the Northwest civil society voice to the ongoing land reforms in Cameroon.
I expect them to give us maximum collaboration. I expect them to be open to us in terms of sharing information, giving us access to their offices and information that can guarantee or make our work progress effectively. As you can hear, some of them were already promising us that offices are open to us.
Experts in the domain of land tenure say the 1974 land tenure law is outdated and does not seem to meet daily realities. Many persons are discouraged by the long procedures, high and sometimes unspecified costs incurred in the process of land titles. Transparency International Cameroon TIC 2016 survey indicates that there is an increasing threat to rural people's land tenure security. 80% of rural people don't own land titles and may not be able to make any legal claims over land. The 1974 land tenure law projects the state as the sole owner of all land in Cameroon and citizens as mere users, which challenges customary land ownership.
Litigations on land reduce because people must have been well informed on how to use land, on how to acquire land. Because our division is sprouting in development, there's a high quest for land, and we believe that if the civil society, who is an educative platform, could educate the population of Mezam on how land is acquired and managed, on the reforms on land tenure, then we'll have a better utilization of our surface and living together.
The workshop comprises 40 representatives from structured civil society organizations, faith-based organizations, trade unions, media, and the state.
In the Southwest region, His Royal Highness Chief John Mokake Otho is a pioneer traditional ruler of Mokate village in Limbe 1 subdivision. He was coronated over the weekend by a college of chiefs from the Fako Chiefs Conference and installed by the divisional officer for Limbe 1 subdivision. Kuma Honore attended the coronation ceremony and compiled the following report for Prime News.
They are traditional rulers from 6 different villages in the Munyakot area of Buea subdivision, Southwest region, who were elected to man the affairs of their respective villages. The chiefs were elected over the weekend by kingmakers of their various villages and presented to the public at the premises of the Government Teachers Technical Training College, Mile 17, Buea. Presiding over the consultative talks, the divisional officer for Buea subdivision, Abba Abdurrahman, challenged the chief designates to work for the interests of their communities for development to follow. The duo reminded the population that the administration does not create chiefs but rather plays an arbitrary role to ensure that the selection process is hitch-free and within the ambits of the law. Speaking to the press shortly after his election as the designated chief of Izori village, Chief Lyonga Ngome Solomon says he is ready to bring development to his village if only the villagers will accompany him.
As long as we are together, we work together. I cannot work alone. The fact that I'm the head, I will join my people and we work together to bring development and togetherness.
For Molambela Lyonga, family head of Ntimba family, it is a dream come true as the long-awaited day has finally come to pass.
The impression we have is that of happiness, that of a fulfilled struggle. You know, for very many years, we have been clamoring to revamp our village that has almost gone extinct since the Germans. This village had existed. After that, this village came, it was like disappeared. But today we are happy because we are rebuilding the village by making our chief, and then we have to go back to reconstruct the village.
Meanwhile, the chief-elect and their respective villages are Chief Solomon Lyonga Ngome of Izori village, Chief Oscar Mbola of Kulu village, Chief Eyole Molinge Franklin of Bonganjo Wonjo village, Chief Elongo Franklin of Njuma village, and Chief Thomas Mwale Etonge of Wotondo village. They all have a daunting task to revamp their villages, which were almost extinct after the post-colonial period. The event was made colorful with traditional dances from the Bakore tribe, with Nganya dance at the forefront.
The divisional officer for Buea has called on indigenes of 6 villages in Muyakot area to be ready to return to their community. He made the call while presiding over a consultative talk to designate chiefs to the 6 villages under revival. Details with Kuma Honore once more.
The sons and daughters of Mokota village in Limbe 1 subdivision came out massively over the weekend to witness the coronation and installation ceremony of His Royal Highness Chief John Mokake Otho as the pioneer traditional ruler of Mokota village. Designated some 1 month ago, Chief John Mokake Otho was officially given the baton of command as the traditional ruler of Mokota village by the divisional officer of Limbe 1 subdivision, Acha Gilben Quinter, who was recently appointed Secretary General to the Southwest Governor's Office. The installation followed a prefectorial order signed by the Senior Divisional Officer for Fako, Emmanuel Engamba Ledu, recognizing Chief John Mokake Otho as the pioneer traditional ruler of the revived Mokota village. Mokota village is one of the oldest villages in Limbe 1 subdivision that existed long before the German colonial master came to Cameroon. When the Germans came to Cameroon, They opted to establish plantations coupled with threats from slave trade business, which forced the initial settlers of Mokota to migrate to safer areas in the division and elsewhere. This migration led to the desertation and degradation of the village settlement, which gradually grew up into a vast forest land. The reason why the divisional officer, in his installation speech, called on the new chief and all the 18 family heads to join their hands together and see how they can quickly turn the forested land into construction sites and farmland. The Dio added that his presence in Mokota village is to resurrect a village that almost went extinct. The new chief and his dynamic theme have been working tirelessly to ensure that the coronation ritual takes place in the village so that the indigenes can once more set feet on their ancestral land. Before the coronation and installation of Chief John Mokake Otto, caterpillars have been hired to bulldoze close to 3-kilometer stretch of the access road linking the village from maternity quarters in Mile 4, Bonadikombo. The coronation ritual was done by a college of chiefs from the Limbe Chiefs Conference alongside their peers from other chiefs conferences.
Has given him all the ancestral blessings as their community and traditional ruler. Rise up tomorrow and say one thing or the other. So as from today, you saw all the traditional emblems on him. So traditionally, we have done all what it takes for one to be called a traditional ruler.
The chairman of the village traditional council, Mola Frix Ndumbe, thanked the Dieu and the Fako administration for reviving their village and giving them the opportunity to move back to their ancestral land.
They are going to work hand in glove so that we see that the village grows as fast as possible. And we like people of good faith to come and stay with us. We don't want people who bring trouble, because you know about a man is a peace-loving man. He's a hospitable man.
Mokota village is located on the southward side of the road leading to Limbe from the end of Umbe Bridge and stretches right down to Mile 4 Bonadikombo in Limbe 1 subdivision. It is bounded to the west by Livanda Congo village, in the south by Mabeta village, and in the east by Umbe Bridge.
The bid to fight breast and cervical cancer in women in Gandhi Regional Hospital organized a 4-day free screening campaign. The 4-day campaign that began on Monday, October 25, was equally an opportunity to raise awareness on the disease. Details with Bokengo Wadi.
Breast cancer is a global health burden and one of the leading causes of female-related death worldwide, and second for cancer-related deaths, affecting more than 7 million women globally. Women between the ages of 25 and above are more susceptible and vulnerable to the disease, together with women who suffer from obesity, menopause, have a prolonged use of oral contraceptives, family history of the disease, late childbearing, and many more. Though the disease possesses symptoms such as breast swelling, breast discharge, pain, and lump in nipple, amongst others, many women are very unaware of their status. To this regard, in the month of Pink October for breast cancer, the Regional Hospital of Gandhi organized a breast and cervical cancer screening sensitization campaign in a bid to help raise awareness towards these two deadly cancers affecting and killing women worldwide. At the Gaundere Regional Hospital, we are organizing a sensitization campaign for breast cancer screening as well as cervical cancer. We know that these two cancers are the principal and first types of cancers affecting women. Cancer of the breast being the most common type of cancer affecting women, followed by cervical cancer being the second type of cancer affecting women worldwide. It should be borne in mind that the World Health Organization estimates more than 20,745 new breast cancer-related cases in Cameroon as of last year. Worthy of note is the fact that breast cancer, though women are more vulnerable to the disease, can also affect men who are heavy smokers, alcohol consumers, and above 60 whose lifestyle choices are unhealthy.
And to news out of the country, staff lady Nolinga, they put together the following striking stories. Her report.
Begin in Nigeria, where a man who put himself up for sale has been arrested. The Islamic police in Kano State, known as Hizbah, has arrested 26-year-old Aliyu Na Idris, who trended on social media last weekend for putting himself up for sale due to poverty. The arrested tailor, who had been speaking to local journalists before his arrest, said he was in a huge financial mess, hence his decision to put a 20 million naira price tag on his person, promising to wholeheartedly serve his buyer. Away from that, two Sudanese trade unions say they will take action against the military coup that took place earlier this week. The workers at the State Petroleum Company, SUDAPET, are joining the civil disobedience movement, while a doctors' union says it will enter a general strike. Meantime, demonstrations demanding civilian rule are continuing in the capital city of Khartoum. Meanwhile, floods in Benin killed dozens of people as about half of the country has been affected. Dozens of people, it should be noted, have died in the past few weeks from flood-related incidents. Homes, schools, and other infrastructure, including bridges, have been damaged and destroyed by the floods, with rains intensifying in the past 2 weeks. And in Mozambique, locals of the Cabo Delgado province have found decapitated bodies of 7 people early this week, including a 3-year-old child, according to local security sources. The first 2 victims are said to have been killed in the village of Lumumwa when they went to fetch water, according to residents, while others were killed in Pankoma and Nagulwe. And the head of the Electoral Commission in the Democratic Republic of Congo has been sworn in amid controversy over his nomination. Denis Kadima takes over as president of the Independent National Electoral Commission, CENI, with the heavy task of organizing the next elections come 2023. Conclusively, 4 Kenyan schoolboys are in police custody over the burning of a dormitory after reportedly being denied permission.
In the company of more programs on the African Eye. Stay with us.